Well, hey there team, welcome back to the channel and welcome back to some more Space Brew. So, we're going to continue along. I think, was it last episode? I got my hackles up, and as I want to do with this game, there's some serious balancing issues. People suggested, because I did appeal to those who may have played past before me, or if you had any thoughts, that perhaps you're supposed to grind out all the sort of current available upgrades for that level. I can get that, but the game doesn't explicitly tell you that. For those that might have missed it, the problem is we jumped to the next sector. We completed a very high risk mission, which I kind of cruised through, and then on the very next sector, all we had was one mission to choose from, which was low difficulty, and it absolutely thumped the shit out of me, and nearly, I guess we came the closest we could to losing. So how do you go from playing a very high difficulty mission to playing a low difficulty mission? You know, for all my whinging and all that, you can't deny I've got a point. This is just terrible telegraphing on the part of the devs. I mean, geez, put a pop-up. Just put a pop-up before you jump. Are you sure you want to go to the next region? It's going to be a big step up in difficulty. You know, I shouldn't have to intuit that. There's all different games, there's all sorts of open world things and choices, and if you're going to give me the choice to go across and I beat the highest difficulty thing with my current crew already, why on earth would I expect low difficulty to nearly kill me at an even higher difficulty? I think it's unreasonable, and I think it's worth ranting about consistently. The devs should actually have a look at that, because that's pretty piss weak. But we will continue on. So we're probably just, I don't think I'm gonna have much of a choice. Like if we click on mission, what have we got? You gotta be fucking joking. How are you offering me high risk when I'm almost certain I can't complete low risk stuff at this point? This game is all over the place. The only reason that what people were suggesting about grinding out all the current upgrades before moving forward is the fact that there aren't any current upgrades. There's this research XP system, right? What it needs to do, I'll give you an example. I'm playing Cyberpunk on the second channel, by the way. You should go over to the Scarlet Secondment and check it out. We're doing a full playthrough. But there are missions that are like low difficulty, medium difficulty, high, just like this, but they will change as you go up in level. So once I hit level 10 or something, the medium ones will become low, right? So it's telegraphing at that point in time the relative difficulty to my current level. This is common practice. This is industry practice. Everyone would expect this. This game is so out of line to tell me that it's a low difficulty mission, but by what metric? By their own metric? It's certainly not against my upgraded ship. What it should have is a scaling difficulty. It should be able to, I mean, shit, how hard could it be to write this code at this point? They could fix this in post. Figure out what stuff that I have, figure out what sort of upgrades I have installed, right? Run it through the system, tell me what the difficulty is, whether it's reasonable or hard or whatever. Come on, guys, what are you doing? Right, let's go. Rant complete. We're gonna get armor? Christ. Okay, I'll take that, that'll do. I'm gonna save my money because I want the armor, because I don't trust this fucking game. Alright. And we're just gonna grind. We're gonna be boring people, and we're gonna grind because we literally, the game has lost goodwill and trust with us. That's the problem. That's not a good place for the consumer to be in. People suggested all sorts of tricky ways to fight the dudes. You know, like, if you ever play Bomber Crew, you know, you never not tag enemies. You just don't. But the suggestion that maybe I should get dual weapons and switch between them to try and focus down their health bar specific, I think that's fair. That's a good point, and that's probably what will get me onto the dual weapons. So, you know, I'm quite happy to go left and right of field there. Search Delta Quadrant. Now, I think that means it's a main mission sort of thing, right? So I'm going to take this one. Must be on the right track. Large defensive alien outpost has been located. It presents a threat to our search for their homeworld. Destroy it? I have to destroy it. Or continue mapping. Oh, no. I'm not fighting a fucking base. Not with this bullshit divvy. This is unreasonable. We're gonna try this one. Let's hope there's no ambush. Okay, well that's good. There's no baddie coming for us. Paz, get the engines up. Get the weapons up. Wait, hang on, what are you doing? Let's go. To objective. Paz there. I guess we got to drop this off. I didn't really read the briefing. Alright, let's see if the game kicks me fucking head in. We're going to take the safe route as well. Yeah, like I said, the correct vernacular is I do not trust the game's telemetry on difficulty. And I don't think that's my fault. Alright, let's go. Get aggressive. Mate, Cavallo, you probably should get on the guns, mate. Like, seriously, straight up at this point, we're dropping everything all the time. Give me your inspirational speech. Give me bloody all the boosts. Give me everything. Fire everything. In the words of Eric Banner. It's a shame that we've resorted to dump all cooldowns as soon as they cool down. You know, the gameplay mechanic of a cooldown, right, is to decide when you want to use it and when not to use it. But, no, I feel a bit cornered, so, you know. Embrace the idle clicker. We'll just hit the cooldowns the second they happen, every time. Alright, Paz. You should probably repair that. Escobar, you should probably put that fire out. Alright. What's this bullshit? What was that? That was like a missile or something? Okay. Save us route, let's go. Rudenko, you can, why are you being radiated? Stop that. Alright, we used everything. God help us in the next engagement. And it's at this point, like, I know I'm piling on, but like, what happens if I lose my crew after 20 missions or whatever? Am I supposed to start a new one, or am I expected to save scum? Because I know there's a permadeath to it, but I think we've discussed this before. What's the point of permadeath if you're not going to use it, and if you put it in a place like this? And you know what, sometimes you could be critical of XCOM for that as well. It allows you to build an A-team in such a way that if you do get killed, you bricked your entire fucking playthrough. And that's hardly the player's fault. The only people that know not to do that are people that have had it happen to them in XCOM and have started again. Yeah, there should be a, I wonder, it'd be cool if there was some sort of industry standard as, in a way, to like, X times per... Like, how often does a roguelike reset you? How long does permadeath get you? How often? If you've got a crew that dies. It should probably be like X per hour or something. Some sort of metric like that. Yeah, don't get me wrong, I don't want to wipe, but I'm assuming we will eventually. The game just seems so keen to kill us. But I gotta say, we'll have a... I suppose we'll make sure that the save's in check, because I obviously save after each episode. But we'll see what happens, and hopefully it just gives you a crew with X skills and a ship with X upgrades that's sort of on parity with my current ship. Because if it's expecting me to start again and grind for another 20 or 30 missions just to get back up to a point where it kills me unfairly, no, I will save scum, and I despise save scumming. I haven't got any abilities. All my abilities are gone. Oh, let's go. Melt these pricks. Are we going to be able to weather the storm here for the shields? Seems that way. Let's go evasive. I think, obviously don't have the comments in front of me, and I make million different videos. I think someone might have commented, they're like, well, you were getting pumped because your shields were underpowered for the region you're in. And to which I would go, okay, hey, I understand that statement, but how do you know that? And I'll bet my bottom dollar that person knows that because they have played ahead themselves, or they've seen another YouTuber or whatever, right? Not because the game telegraphed it correctly to the player. I guess therein lies my issue. Like, a game can be a bit, you know, like, we can suffer language barriers in games. I do all these indie games all the time. So I'm quite open to a game that might, you know, it'll have typos through it and all that. But if you get the gist of the message that they're trying to get across, hey, it's not that bad, you know? It can also be, it can be kind of charming and funny in a way, having a broken syntax. But if you're failing to get, you know, it's not even win conditions, it's death conditions. If you can't convey death, what the player can fuck up and kill themselves with, if you can't convey that correctly, which this game consistently, like, if I had to say there was one big problem with it, it's that the developers have no idea how to communicate to the player where the bloody line is, where the red line is. No, I'm not fighting, not if I can help it. Barlow stealth us. Yeah, I think, yeah, all this ranting and rambling has been me really trying to understand where the big problem is. Like, is there one core, like, if you could fix one problem, even if it's a big problem, but can you find the foundational, even philosophical issue that's going on here that's causing these problems? And it's that this is well put together, it's really cool and pretty, and it's very, very similar to the previous game. Like, the devs know how to develop a game. I just think they've failed on the, like, they're too much inside their bubble of understanding their game and their difficulties, and they haven't telegraphed it to the player effectively. I really think that's the problem there. Alright, eject the thing. Yeah. And then when you say that out loud and think to apply it to all the issues that we've had, it makes so much sense. Because there's been difficulty issues on when you leave a region, how much are you supposed to grind. It's clear that they all understand it. They've probably got it all written up on their whiteboard in their development office, right? They absolutely know 100% the answers to these questions. They've just failed to put them into the game in hard text or in any intuitive way. This is bullshit. This is bullshit. Things just appear now, do they? They did this to us before. I fucking hate this. I mean, I'm already a bit riled up, you know, at 100%, but we're going to have monster closets in space, are we? At least monster closets, you don't have line of sight. That makes more sense. But you're just going to spawn shit in out of nowhere, are you? Maybe they don't know what they're doing, actually. I take that back. Like, surely, maybe some of you blokes are young game developers, or you've done courses online or whatever. Surely one of the first things they would teach you is don't ever do this. Don't make bad guys appear from nowhere, not even behind a corner or something, in the middle of space at point blank. Make invisible dudes appear. Surely this has got to be the way, like, you'd fail your course if you did this, right? Tell me I'm wrong. Dump everything. Holy shit. The fire on board the ship. I'll get Paz to put it out. And I'll get Paz to repair. Are we stationary? Why are we stationary? I feel oh, it's because these things are moving in concert with us. I cancelled evasive piloting. Oops. Occasionally people go, well, why do you play it if you're bashing on it? Well, you know, this isn't Baratrauma. There's a good game under here somewhere. But it keeps me honest as well. Like, generally speaking, watch all my videos, I dare you. Oh my goodness, evasive. I'm Mr. Happy-Go-Lucky. I'm generally just really, really happy to play games and I enjoy myself. We'll put Cavallo back on the gun real quick. Oh, I didn't cancel evasive before. Very good. It's a good exercise in keeping yourself honest and going, okay, well, there's issues with this game. You know, it's not an entirely broken thing, but there are some egregious problems with it. Like, you can, as a gamer, you feel it in your bones, you play it and you're like, oh, there's something wrong here. And then it's sort of like, okay, well, let's dig deeper. Let's figure out why. What's wrong? And that's where a lot of this discussion comes from. Jesus Christ. Look at him just fucking hosing me. Oh, now we're really starting to run out of abilities. Yeah. But yeah, look, that's I'm happy for a bit of healthy discussion around a lot of the issues about leveling up and all that, you know. And that's why I mentioned the comments that people raise interesting points around these topics. But I mean, I shouldn't say I dare you, but if you think there's some sort of defensible excuse for having fucking ships appear out of nowhere as a bullshit ambush, fuck, overdrive didn't work. Let's cancel that. Stealth mode. Then I'm open to hearing about that. But obviously I'm coming from that sort of space where I just think it's indefensible. But yeah, look, I'm still enjoying the challenge. Oh my god, what are they doing? Like, even on a certain level, I almost dare this game to bloody kill me. You know, keep throwing these cheap, what I perceive as cheap tricks, right? Its idea of ratcheting up difficulty is throwing cheap tricks at me, but it hasn't killed me yet. So a part of me wants to give it the middle finger and say, fuck you with your dodgy, you're cheating, basically, to try and kill me, and you can't. You know, so on a certain level, I'm sort of like, come on, kill me, see what happens. And I want to see what happens next, because I still remember at launch, Bomber Crew had that huge problem. It would kill you like 20 missions in or something like that, and you were bricked. That was the end of the game. You couldn't clock the campaign. I think maybe they patched it better later. Yeah, I just... it's not morbid curiosity. Like, I'm invested, and I'm still winning, so like... You know. Anyway, you guys have been with me for this long anyway. You're used to these sort of rants. Some people sometimes crack the sads and try to dress me down. They just don't understand that, like, they live in this weird, this modern culture where you're either with us or against us bullshit, you know. And it is the internet. A lot of people on the internet are very much of the, you know, it's black or white and there's no in between. I can enjoy this game quite a bit, which I do, and still be hypercritical of some really, like, broken parts of it. And if you feel that I'm giving too much sort of lip service to the faults, I would ask, well, they're glaring and they're unique, so they're interesting to talk about and explore. And what's the other side of the cookie? Do I just talk about how fucking fantastic this game is all the time? You know, if you want this one-to-one equivalency, that's not going to happen. This game's good, you know, but it's not genre breaking. The base. I don't suppose we've got stealth and engines. Fast jump charge. It charges so long. It's so gross. Where are they? This is interesting. A game like this makes me wonder, because it's cooldown juggling, right? If you want to strip it back, like it's like World of Warcraft. And so I think to myself, maybe I should give something like World of Warcraft a go. And then I got to wonder, the people that are watching this, because there's a bunch of you that, you know, love this, right? And to that I'm grateful. But like, do you play MMOs? Those people? You know, poll the audience, as it were. Are you World of Warcraft type people, or another MMO? Or do you hate MMOs? Or are you unaware that what you're watching has the same gameplay loop? Like, I suppose you would call it cooldown juggling, which was essentially popularized by WoW. I'd be curious about that as well. Yeah. I wonder if there's people that watch this or play this that actually don't realize that that's what it's aping. It's essentially just the MMO mechanic strung together. Not an entire MMO, obviously. A big part of MMOs is exploration. So this would be more like MMO light, I would suppose, right? Because it's not like we haven't had any new skills in bloody 15 episodes. We haven't changed our strategy or anything like that. All they're doing is throwing monster closets at us in space. Which, if you don't, when I say monster closet, it's literally like from the old Doom days, because I don't think they could actually teleport monsters in. They couldn't just make assets appear. But what they could do is make a little closet with a door that you walk past potentially, or even like a wall texture, or however it worked out. And so you'd clear the room and you'd walk past, and then you'd do something that would trigger this door to just open, and a million things will roll out behind you from an area that you just bloody cleared that should be safe as houses. So you can sort of see how it's a disparaging term of essentially cheating. It's an early way to dump monsters behind you. And I'm pretty sure Doom 1 popularized it. I wouldn't be surprised if it was in Wolfenstein and that. But I still remember games like Doom 3 and all that would do the same sort of thing. And then to a point, you know, the even more egregious next step is where you just teleport dudes around a corner out of sight behind you. So you clear down a corridor, and then you come back around, and then some dude just jumps out and scares the shit out of you. And that was unfair, because you already made that area safe. You rendered it safe through your sweep. And I can't say I think that's why I'm so offended by this. Well, offended, who gets fucking offended these days? But you know what I mean. I think it's taken me off balance so badly, because they just straight up teleport these fucking pricks in front of us. And I'm like, oh, come on. You're not even gonna pretend? No, there's more coming. Fuck me. I thought I was going to get away with it for a moment there. But yeah, but what keeps me sane is that, yeah, there seems to be some people, and I'm not even going to get into the mentality. I'm not trying to have a go, but it is interesting that someone will clock a game, they'll put 1,000 hours into a game, and then they'll watch a YouTuber play it. It's interesting to me. I mean, that's a conversation for another time. Like, on a level, you're not actually really watching it because I'm playing it. You know, you're not learning anything from it. It might just be, you know what, it might just be an internet extension of the social interaction you'd have around the water cooler. There used to be a term, they'd call them water cooler games. I remember Bioshock 1 was like that. You know, fighting a big daddy, it would be an arena. You could, I like using the example, but you know, you could try and turn the security bots against him. You could set up traps or something like that, or try and debuff him with, you know, dots and that sort of stuff. And then the whole idea and their publicity marketing around it was, you know, you'd go into work and you'd be standing around the water cooler and be, oh, hey, Frank, how'd you kill that? Oh, I did it this way. Oh, I didn't even think of it. So you have this social interaction between people sort of in the know. And I guess you look at spoiler casts, even for TV episodes like bloody Attack on Titan at the moment and that sort of stuff. I'm sure there's a market for people that are curious to hear the exchange of ideas between people that have walked the same path as them. Yeah, so there you go. I said I didn't know why people that have clocked the game are watching it, but I think I've just figured it out loud, so... But to those people, I'd be curious if they have the same sort of stance on the poor telegraphing of difficulty that I'm encountering. Or am I in a vacuum? Am I a dickhead and I have no idea and you didn't even struggle for a second? I mean, I suppose I could probably try and look at refining my loot a bit more, but that's the other. There you go. This is a legit question to the people that have clocked the game. Like, did you do what I did? Did you find a rhythm of juggling your cooldowns, of dealing with the problems, and then just do that for 10 hours? Because that's what we're doing at the moment, right? Essentially. And that's why I said it earlier in the episode, like, kind of idle clicker like, because I just have my rotation, and I'm doing it. And I guess the doubt and the second guessing comes from me going, is that what I'm supposed to be doing? Is that the intended design? Like on their whiteboard in their office, they go, what's going on? I'm tagging it. Why aren't you going to it? Oh, you're turning. Right. Yeah, like, did they design it and go, all right, cool. The beginning will teach them the mechanics and they'll figure all that out and that'll be interesting. And then the last, 15 hours of the game, we want them to have found their loop and use only that and not ever change it. And then finish. Like, maybe that's what I'm missing. Maybe you're supposed to just fall into the exact same grind. Almost like, I don't know, mid-level WoW leveling. I always thought that maybe you were changing your rotations and all that in a World of Warcraft, but perhaps you do, because maybe I need to play some MMOs to get more in the know. Maybe you get to that end game and you've got your 10 spells that you use and you never use anything else again, and that's where the game begins, and maybe you just do that exact same thing forever, and that's fun, and maybe it's just not for me. So, yeah. I'm willing to admit that maybe I'm missing the point, but I'll tell you what, if you know what the point is, please do share it with me. Right, okay, we got our dollars. Very good, that was a very long grindy mission. Very good. Weapon boost. That's good. That was pretty much the last upgrade we were waiting for in this game, so I guess it's smooth sailing from there. Yeah, so, as always, me ranting about the issues with this game. If you can't handle it or can't keep up, you just can't handle me saying bad things about the games you like, well, I suppose you can just march on. But again, I'm not out to attack or be mean or anything like that, but, you play a game and then dudes start appearing in front of you magically because the normal difficulty curve couldn't stop you, so I suppose we're resorting to openly dirty tricks. There's a discussion to be had around that. Is that okay? Maybe people don't mind so much when bad guys appear in front of them to almost wipe them out. Maybe I'm honestly serious, maybe that's okay these days. And old farts like me from the older generation, not that I'm that old, maybe we're wrong to expect a bit more nuance. I don't know. So I humbly submit my rant to you. I think there's some valid stuff in there. But if you've got a fair rebuttal or a counterpoint, I'm happy to hear it. So I'm curious. You never know. Maybe there's a whole bunch of modern games where they constantly just make monsters appear in front of you, and like maybe the culture shifted and I had my eyes closed. I don't know. I'm not sure. Yeah. Anyway, curious to hear what people have to say. Team, thanks again for joining me. We might just leave it there for the time being, and I'll catch you guys on the next one.